Hey there, my amazing English learners. Nancy here, and welcome back to English Made Simple. You know what? Today, I'm super excited to talk about something that trips up even my advanced students. We're going to dive deep into when you should absolutely never just slap an S on the end of a word to make a plural. Now, I know you've learned the basic rule, just add S to make things plural, right? But here's the thing, English loves to throw curveballs at us. And trust me, by the time we're done today, you're going to feel so much more confident about these tricky plural forms. Oh, and before we jump in, if you're loving what you hear, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. I don't want you to miss any of our English tips and tricks. Circumstance number 1, uncountable nouns, the sneaky ones. Here's what you need to remember. These words represent things we can't count individually, so never, ever add S. All right, let me explain what uncountable nouns are. Think about it this way. These are things you see as one big mass or substance. You can pick up individual pieces and count them one by one. Let's start with liquids, okay? Take the word water. Now listen carefully. If you say, I need waters, that's completely wrong. You want to say, I need water. It doesn't matter if you need a little water or a lot of water. It's always just water. Same thing with milk. Don't say, I bought 3 milks. Nope. Say, I bought 3 bottles of milk or just I bought milk. How about coffee? You might hear people say 2 coffees, please, at a coffee shop, but technically, we're talking about 2 cups of coffee. The liquid itself is just coffee. And tea? Same rule applies. It's always tea, never teas. Moving on to juice, whether it's orange juice, apple juice, whatever, it's always just juice. Oil, cooking oil, motor oil, it's always oil, never oils. Blood, this one's easy because saying blood sounds really weird, right? It's always blood. And wine, even though you might order different types of wine, the substance itself is just wine. Now let's talk about gases for a second. Air, you breathe air, not airs. Oxygen, doctors give you oxygen, not oxygens. Smoke, there's smoke coming from the fire, not smokes. Steam, steam rises from hot water, not steams. Here's where it gets really tricky, abstract concepts. These are ideas and feelings. Love, this is a big one. You feel love, you give love, you receive love, but you never have loves. It's always just love. Happiness, you experience happiness, not happinesses. That would sound ridiculous. Information, oh boy, this is probably the most common mistake I hear. Students always say, I need some informations, but that's wrong. It's, I need some information. Always. Knowledge, you gain knowledge, you share knowledge, but never knowledges. Advice, here's another super common mistake. Don't say, can you give me some advices? Say, can you give me some advice? Or can you give me a piece of advice? Research, you do research, you conduct research, but it's never researches when you're talking about the activity. Progress, you make progress, not progresses. Experience, now be careful with this one. When we're talking about the general concept, it's experience. Like I have experience in teaching. But if you're talking about specific events, then you can say experiences. Like I had many interesting experiences in Japan. Patience, you need patience, not patiences. Courage, it takes courage, not courages. Wisdom, you gain wisdom, not wisdoms. Beauty, when we talk about the concept, it's beauty, not beauties. But if you're talking about beautiful people or things, then you can say beauties. Now let's look at materials and substances. Gold, it's always gold, never golds. Silver, same thing, always silver. Wood, you work with wood, not woods. Paper, you write on paper, not papers. But be careful, if you're talking about documents or newspapers, then you can say papers. Plastic, it's made of plastic, not plastics. Metal, it's made of metal, not metals. Glass, as a material, it's glass, not glasses. But if you're talking about drinking glasses or eyeglasses, then it's different. Stone, as a material, it's stone, not stones. Sand, you walk on sand, not sands. Salt, you add salt, not salts. Sugar, you need sugar, not sugars. Flour, you bake with flour, not flowers. Rice, you eat rice, not rices. Bread, you buy bread, not breads. And here's something interesting, academic subjects. Mathematics, it's mathematics, not mathematicses. Actually, most people just say math, but the full word never gets an extra S. Same with physics, chemistry, history, geography, and biology. These subjects never need an extra S. Circumstance number 2. Words that already end in S. Don't add more. Listen up. Some words look like they're already plural, but they're actually singular. Don't add another S. Let's start with news. I hear this mistake all the time. Students say the newses are interesting, but that's wrong. It's the news is interesting. News is always singular, even though it ends in S. All those academic subjects I mentioned, mathematics, physics, economics, politics, athletics, gymnastics, statistics, they all end in S, but they're singular. Don't add another S. And diseases, diabetes, measles, mumps, they all end in S, but you never add more. You say diabetes is a serious condition, not diabetes are. Circumstance number 3, the complete makeover words. These words completely transform, they don't just get an S slapped on. Okay, here are some words that totally change when they become plural. Man becomes men. Don't say mans, that's completely wrong. Woman becomes women, not womans. Child becomes children. This is probably one of the most important ones to remember. I hear childs all the time, and it sounds really bad. Person usually becomes people. You could say persons in very formal legal language, but for everyday conversation, it's people. Body parts can be tricky too. Foot becomes feet, not foots. Tooth becomes teeth, not tooths. And some animals are weird too. Mouse becomes mice, not mouses. Goose becomes geese, not gooses. Ox becomes oxen, not oxes. Circumstance number 4, the stubborn words that never change. These words are exactly the same whether you're talking about one or many. This is where English gets really crazy. Some words are exactly the same in singular and plural. Sheep, whether it's 1 sheep or 100 sheep, it's always chic. Never sheeps. Deer, same thing. 1 deer, many deer, never deers. Fish, usually it's the same. 1 fish, many fish. Sometimes you might hear fishes when talking about different species, but generally it's just fish. Moose, 1 moose, 10 moose, never mooses. And lots of other animals like salmon, trout, cod, tuna, they don't change. Here's something interesting, nationalities ending in SA. Chinese, you don't say, I met 3 Chineses. You say, I met 3 Chinese people. Same with Japanese, Vietnamese, Portuguese, they don't change. Just add people after them. Circumstance number 5, the Y to IES magic trick. When a word ends in consonant plus Y, change that Y to IES. This is actually a pretty reliable rule once you get the hang of it. City becomes cities, not cities. Baby becomes babies, not babies. Lady becomes ladies, not lattice. Country becomes countries, not countries. Family becomes families, not families. Party becomes parties, not parties. Story becomes stories, not stories. Memory becomes memories, not memories. And so many more. Victory becomes victories, theory becomes theories, battery becomes batteries, category becomes categories, industry becomes industries, company becomes companies. The trick is to look at what comes before the Y. If it's a consonant, change Y to IES. Circumstance number 6, the F to VES transformation. Many words ending in F or FE change to VES. This is another pattern you can learn. Knife becomes knives, not knifes. Life becomes lives, not lives. Wife becomes wives, not wifes. Leaf becomes leaves, not leafs. Wolf becomes wolves, not wolves. Shelf becomes shelves, not shelves. Half becomes halves, not halves. Calf becomes calves, not calves. Thief becomes thieves, not thieves. Loaf becomes loaves, not loafs. Circumstance number 7, the ES ending club. Words ending in S, SS, SH, CH, X, or Z need ES, not just S. Think about it. If you just add S to these words, they'd be impossible to pronounce. Box becomes boxes. You can't say boxes. Your tongue gets all twisted up. Class becomes classes, not class. Dish becomes dishes, not dishes. Church becomes churches, not churches. Bus becomes buses, not bus. Glass becomes glasses, not glass. Watch becomes watches, not watches. Fox becomes foxes, not foxes. Kiss becomes kisses, not kiss. Brush becomes brushes, not brushes. Circumstance number 8, the foreign visitors. Some words from other languages keep their original plural forms. English borrowed these words from Latin and Greek, and they kept their original plurals. From Latin, datum becomes data, not datums. So you say this data is interesting, not these datas are interesting. Medium becomes media, not mediums. Curriculum becomes curricula, not curriculums. Although honestly, many people do say curriculums now. Phenomenon becomes phenomena, not phenomenons. Criterion becomes criteria, not criterions. From Greek, analysis becomes analyses, not analysises. Thesis becomes theses, not thesises. Crisis becomes crises, not crisises. Let me give you some memory tricks. Here's my favorite trick, the can you count it test. If you can't say one something, two somethings, three somethings, then don't add S. Like, can you say one information, two informations? No way. So it's always just information. Another trick, trust your ear. If adding S sounds weird, there's probably a rule. Sheep sounds wrong because it is wrong. And here's what I tell all my students, group similar words together. Learn all the school subjects at once. Learn all the F to VES words together. It's easier than trying to memorize each word individually. The most common mistakes I hear. Let me tell you the mistakes I hear every single day in my classroom. Mistake number 1, teacher, I need some information about the homework. No. I need some information about the homework. Mistake number 2, I saw many sheep at the farm. No, I saw many sheep at the farm. Mistake number 3, the childs are playing outside. This one makes me cringe every time. The children are playing outside. Mistake number 4, I visited many beautiful cities in Europe. Close, but wrong. I visited many beautiful cities in Europe. Let's practice together. All right, I'm going to give you some sentences with mistakes. See if you can catch them. 1, I need some advices from you. 2, the newses today are very interesting. 3, there are many sheep on the farm. 4, mathematics are my favorite subject. 5, the childs are playing in the park. 6, I bought 3 loaves of bread. 7, these informations are very useful. 8. How many peoples live in your city? Okay, here are the corrections. 1. I need some advice from you. Advice is uncountable. 2. The news today is very interesting. News is always singular. 3. There are many sheep on the farm. Sheep never changes. 4. Mathematics is my favorite subject. It's singular. 5. The children are playing in the park. Child becomes children. 6. I bought 3 loaves of bread. Loaf becomes loaves. 7. This information is very useful. Information is uncountable. 8. How many people live in your city? Person becomes people. Wrapping it all up. Listen, I know this seems like a lot to remember, but here's the thing. English has all these crazy rules because it borrowed words from tons of different languages over hundreds of years. Each language brought its own way of making plurals, and they all got mixed together into what we call English today. Here's what I want you to do. First, learn the categories. Get familiar with uncountable nouns, irregular plurals, and all these different patterns. Second, practice, practice, practice. The more you use these words correctly, the more natural they'll become. Third, listen to native speakers. Watch English movies, listen to English podcasts, pay attention to how we use these words. Your ear will start picking up what sounds right. And fourth, don't stress about it. Even native English speakers mess up some of these tricky plurals sometimes. The important thing is to keep learning and improving. You know what? That's all for today's lesson. If this helped you understand when not to add s to make plurals, I'd love it if you'd give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to English Made Simple. We've got so many more grammar lessons coming that will make your English journey so much easier. And hey, I'm curious, which of these plural forms gives you the most trouble? Drop me a comment below and let me know. I read every single comment, and I might even feature your question in our next video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember, English Made Simple is here to make your learning journey as smooth as possible. I'll see you next time. Keep practicing, keep improving, and keep it simple.